morning. Good morning. It's 11 o'clock. It's still technically morning. I'm having a very slow start to today. I have literally no plans except for making the bread. A sourdough loaf that I'm going to be making today from the last batch. If you are new to sourdough, please don't freak out. There's a lot of information out there that can be incredibly overwhelming. I know when I first started sourdough, even just trying to create my first starter, I became incredibly overwhelmed and just overthought the whole process and just almost decided not to do it at all. I'm so happy that I pushed through and am now at a point where I can mostly do it without even looking at a recipe or thinking about anything. So if you have any questions or anything, please let me know and I will do my best to simplify the process for you. Today I am baking the sourdough loaf that was left in the fridge overnight from last night. So I'm gonna go ahead and make that. The oven is currently preheating at a 500 degrees with the Dutch oven inside of it so that we can make a nice crusty loaf. I think for lunch, my plan is to make hard-boiled eggs and make some egg salad to go on top of that toast. I have recently decided to start taking my ADHD medication again. Maybe this is overshare, but it is what it is. It's the life of somebody with ADHD, right? We overshare. But I have found again, and I have remembered again, that eating is very difficult to do when you are on ADHD medication. Whether it's that you have your brain so organized that you're able to actually accomplish all the things that you would like to accomplish in life, and during the day you just bypass meals and snacking or anything, which is good because it's helping me with a lot of the overeating problems that I've had in most of my life. But it's also making it so that I make it to the end of the day and I am literally sitting at the kitchen table. Last night, I was sitting at the kitchen table with the veggie tray that I had made and the snack tray that I made. I basically made like a buffet dinner for dinner last night. We had to get Dara off to Girl Guides last night, so we didn't have time to make a fancy dinner, but I was sitting at the kitchen table in front of all that food, literally just shaking and just trying to get some of that food into my body before I passed out. And I really don't want to get to that point. I do want to stop overeating, but I want to at least be able to nourish my body with food that I need to survive. So trying to find that little balance has really been very difficult for me. Today it is 11 o'clock. In about an hour and a half, I've even gone as far as to set myself an alarm at 12:30 every day, even on the weekends, to remind myself to eat something. That's how like shitty it's gotten. We're going to make egg salad on top of sourdough toast and a little bit of hot sauce on there. It's so good. I cannot I cannot wait to make that. So I think actually right now what I'm going to do to set myself up for that success is boil some eggs. I'm going to show you how it is that I've been able to, it doesn't work all the time. Sometimes you get eggs that just don't want to peel. But if you were looking at making something, and if you're making egg salad, it's not really a big deal because you're gonna chop it all up anyway. But if you're making something like deviled eggs, we have Easter right around the corner. A lot of people like to make deviled eggs for Easter. So if that is something that you want to do, using this technique 9 times out of 10 will work. So yeah, other than that, today is basically laundry. Yeah, so stay tuned to see all the excitement and chaos and craziness. And if it's not for you, then it's not for you. Yeah, let's make some eggs. Okay, so one thing that I would like to do first is I'm gonna take my egg, and obviously I'm making a lot more eggs than I need for my own personal egg salad, but Rowan likes deviled eggs. Anthony likes to take eggs to work sometimes, so I might as well, while I'm boiling them, make a few more. What you wanna do with each one of your eggs before you put it in the pot is take a spoon, go to the tip. So you have like the rounded spot here. You want to go towards the pointier spot if you can find it. If not, I think that it should work from both sides. I guess we'll try just to see, just in case you can't find the pointier spot. But take a spoon and start to just give it a little whack until it sounds like it's cracking. So listen. Hear that? Nothing's cracked, nothing's broken, but what actually happened is on the inside here is the membrane let go of the shell, and that's gonna make it a lot easier to peel. Let's try this one. We'll do it from the blunter end, see if it still works. Oh, it still works. So I guess it really doesn't matter. So we're gonna do that for all the eggs. Sometimes it takes just a few little whacks. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. now we have our eggs in our pot. We're just gonna fill it up with water just to cover it. So I've filled it with just enough water to cover it. Ideally, you want all of your eggs to be on just one level. So now that there's water in there, they've kind of leveled out. And I'm going to add salt to the water. Nobody can tell me why this works. Actually, I'm probably sure. Hold on a second. Hey Google, does adding salt to the water help eggs peel?
On the website allrecipes.com, they say, boiling eggs with salt doesn't help with peeling them, though. As with a teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of salt didn't seem to make any difference in peeling the eggs.
Okay, so any research that I've done, which is, you just heard the whole research there. Any information that I've looked up about peeling eggs, there's no conclusive result to anybody's theories. Everybody has a different theory of how to boil their eggs. Different regions, different elevations, different things make a difference. And it's really kind of frustrating because when you try to learn something new, you have to learn it, but you also have to practice it to see what works best for you. So it's one of those things that just, some people swear by adding baking soda to their water, some people swear by adding salt to their water, some people swear by the tapping process that I just did. For me, I find even if I do that tapping process, when I don't add salt to the water, for some reason, they don't peel as easily. I don't know what the science is there, or if there's science there, or if it's all just made up in my stupid head, but that is the conclusion I've come to. So I always try to remember to salt my water before I boil. So now we're gonna go ahead and put it over onto the stove on high heat and bring it to a boil. So I have it on high. I'm going to bring it to a rolling boil and then shut it off. My oven is preheated, so we're actually gonna take my sourdough out of the fridge and give it the cut that it needs. Now that our eggs are at a full rolling boil, I'm going to turn the heat off, leave it there, and set a timer for 16 minutes. Set an egg timer for 16 minutes.
Egg for 16 minutes, starting now.
So these eggs are going to, the boil is obviously going to come down, not that the heat is off, but you're going to leave it in the hot water for that 16 minutes. 6 minutes left on the eggs, 13 minutes left on the bread, and that gives me about 6 minutes to take a break. And I will be back to show you what we do with the eggs next. These eggs are all boiled. I'm gonna put them directly into the ice water. Might have put a little too much water in here, but that's okay. Spilled some water. That's okay. We can get that all cleaned up. These eggs are gonna sit here until they are fully cooled and I'm ready to use them. Almost, it's 11:45 right now, so in about 45 minutes, I'll be having lunch and making myself some egg salad. What the ice water does here is it stops the cooking process, so they're not going to overcook. It also allows the egg inside to contract away from the shell, making it easier to peel. Hopefully I'm saying all of these things and it actually is easier to peel. That's kind of the goal. But anyways, that is what's going on there. I've got about 5 minutes left on my loaf timer, so we're gonna go check on that in a minute and then, yeah, be back for lunch. One way that you can tell that it's been baked all the way through, give it a little knock. Should sound hollow. Beautiful bottom, nice, no burn, no nothing.